Welcome back to Flow and Tell. I'm Josi Flotron, and I want to talk to you today about skill, specifically the skill that you see on the screen right now. That's me. I'm moving with my flow rope in a way that is demonstrating skill. I just did a back mill, and I am now going to twirl with an arm wrap while I continue to pivot all the way around. I'm skipping, I'm turning, I'm on wet sand. I'm doing movements that are not easy to do, and I'm doing them in a way that looks pretty skillful, pretty effortless. And I can tell you that from the inside, in those moments that you're seeing right there, I'm actually feeling pretty effortless in my movement. Right there, I am deeply in my joyful expression of my body's movement. And that is the primary thing that is producing the skill that you see. When I talk about this, I'm really wanting to be very clear that for me and for everything that you see me do, the thing that came first was the joyful movement. The thing that came before the joyful movement was the space of being compassionate to myself inside of my practice. And it is that progression, first being able to be compassionate to myself in the moment of my movement. And then through that, cultivating joy that together leads me into a place where I can be deeply embodied and give my body permission to take the lead so that my mind is able to recede and so that the joyful movement comes through in an expression that becomes skillful. And just like a caterpillar does not know that it is going to become a butterfly, I didn't know in the early days of my flow what it was going to become. I was in a place where there were no other models out there of approaching a rope flow practice first from compassion and nothing else. Everything that was modeled for me was this is the skill, go do the thing, drill, 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 acquire the skill. Yay, now you've achieved, move on to the next one. And when I tried that pattern on for myself, I bumped up into really unfun parts of my flow and had those moments arise where I could continue actually hurting myself with the rope by trying to drill into a movement that my body wasn't ready for, or I could have compassion. Full stop. Compassion. It is really hard in the moment sometimes when we are following an external model of what we think we need to do to remember that we are each a caterpillar that is becoming something that we can't know in this moment. When you hold that idea relative to your flow practice, I hope that you can use it in a way similar to what I do to really dial in the compassion in the present moment of your movement, to be there with yourself in a way that does not require you to be meeting an external model in order to enjoy the moment that you're in. I'm showing you these moments here on the screen now because these moments are made possible by years of compassion, and that compassion being the first step in the joyful movement that then was the thing I could return to again and again. Compassionate, joyful movement that, when combined with the biofeedback that we get from our rope, moving in the basic rotational patterns, becomes an incredibly powerful tool to have to use in your daily practice. Not only are you cultivating the movements that are most conducive to human health, because these are the rotational movements that are built into every joint of our body, every part of our being relies on rotational movement in order to get us through the day and through the night for that matter. When you also can train that kind of movement with a place where you exist in a state of compassion for yourself and return to the cultivation of joy, you have a superpower, in my opinion. And I say that because I didn't have that power before I began my practice. I stumbled into it after a long time of being the caterpillar who didn't know where I was going. And now I have the power to take my movement, harness it, and cultivate mindset and emotional well being in ways that I never had access to before. And that really is the skill that we are here to share the path into in the Flotron method. Yes, advanced movements are absolutely possible, but they are not the point in as much as we want to give a space every day to ourselves to be compassionate, to be joyful, because those are the skills that will take us further than any backmill or any cheetah's tail ever could. You might find the backmills really easily, or you might not, but it doesn't actually matter because you will have acquired something that not a lot of people have: the ability to be kind to yourself and turn that into joy. And do that with movement, whether it's simple or complex, in a way that really gives you access to one of the most incredible things that we as humans can spend time doing: moving in rotational patterns with a smile on our face and in our heart. I'll leave you with that for today and wish you joyful flows. Thank you for spending your time with me. This is Flow and Tell. I'm Josie Flotron. I'll see you next week.